Welcome to Maritime with Ezinne. My name is Ezinne Azunna. We'll be bringing you a new entrant in the maritime industry.
We are getting people to realize that maritime does not start and end with the seas.
We'll be looking at the very important transport document.
85% of the Earth's surface is water.
ABC of shipping is the first port of call because that gives you the whole knowledge of what to see.
Nothing done by man is perfect. You can't give 100% where goods are cleared out of customs control.
The key job of customs anywhere in the world is trade facilitation, not revenue drive.
Hello, welcome to the Executive Dialogue. My name is Ezinne Azunna, your host, and today we'll be focusing on areas around maritime labor in the industry. It's an honor to have with us today the President of the Maritime Workers Union of Nigeria, Prince Adewale Adeyanju. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you for having me.
It's been difficult tracking you. How has it been?
It has to do with the nature of the job. You know, the job is not something you sit at home and you expect results. You need to go out there, meeting with your workers, meeting with your members.
Absolutely.
Yes, I think it has been a challenge, but we thank God for His grace.
But how has it been so far from the moment you began work till now? How has it been?
It has been a very tremendous achievement because I'm not new in the system. I've been in the system for long. Been an dogs. That's the way I'm going to put it.
Okay.
Being the president of dock workers, being the national treasurer of the union, now the president
So it's
general.
like having the back of your palm.
Yeah, that's
with
just
you.
it. So I'm not new into the system.
So in the industry, it's been applauded. Like we knew the Maritime Workers Union before your emergence, and compared, even coming to your office today, I was telling my team that, oh, this place has been so transformed. I would like to ask what your driving principle is, because it seems like you have the Midas touch. So what has driven you as the president of the Maritime Workers Union?
I think what we are trying to do is to let you all know that the name given to Maritime Workers Union of Nigeria in the past, when they tag us to be Agbero with all sorts of names, when we came in on board, we said, okay, let's see how we can change the narrative by telling the whole world that it's no longer the issues of Agbero. Because what we are running today is digital unionism, where you can be in your room and talk to the world. And when we came on board, we felt there's need for us to continue building upon what our past leaders have already put on ground. And we felt there's need for us to change those narratives by way of changing the environment. Because when you say headquarters or union, let the whole world know that, yes, these are responsible union leaders of today. So somebody cannot look at my ESCO and look at the name they have been giving us in the past. The Agbero is no longer there. We are refined and reformed to a standard that can be compared to any other affiliate all over the world.
One of the things that you have driven is the collective bargaining agreement. So we've seen you work it out with the shipping arm. Recently we heard about the tussle between the union and the APMT. I would like to ask how important this is for you and the labor union. Why must we have the collective bargaining agreement, and how far have you gone in that pursuit?
Well, to me, I think the CBA, what it means is between the employers and the employees. Without the CBA, the worker will not know what entails in their condition of service. And that is why you have the union to be a middleman between the employee and the employers. I think we'll be having it so tough with some of the employers of labor who have the attitude of not having the regard for the employers, the employees. So, and I think when we came on board, what we did was to write to all the stakeholders and let them know that there's need for us to change the narrative narrative in the sense that the primary objective of any union leader is to protect the welfare of his members. I think that is what we are doing. We equally have challenges with some of the terminal operators in shipping who up to tomorrow, up to now, they are still adamant. Some of them are still riding at the back of COVID-19, that they don't have anything, this and that. But the unions still believe in give and take, because halfway union leaders will not be rigid in negotiations. We found out that APMT not ready to follow the law of this great country, not respecting the workers that they have been working for the past 16 years or 17. But we found out that there's need for us to change the method of negotiating with them, because the poor workers have contributed immensely to the growth of APMT, where they've developed APMT in Nigeria, where they've contributed their quotas in making sure that the terminal is one of the best terminals that you can talk about in Nigeria today, where even the employer, the management of APMT too, should have regard for the workers under them, by way of empowering them, by way of motivating them, by way of giving them what is their right at the right time. So, and the union, we don't just shut down any terminal without due process. Due process in the sense we give out ultimatum, we follow the ultimatum to later, but they refuse honoring our ultimatum, and that is what made us to what? Say, okay, fine. Since they don't want to respect the opinion of the union and that of the workers, I think there's need for us to let them know that this is our country, this is where they are making money. We didn't say they should not establish business. They have come to develop our country. While developing our country too, they are equally developing their own. Absolutely. And they are using our hard-earned money to develop other African countries. And the people that are making this money, they refuse giving them what belongs to them. And when I say no, we can't not accept that. And I think I need to thank everybody who contributed, who supported what actually happened in APMT. It's not in our character to just shut down any terminal.
Workers Union had pulled out from COMTUA, which is the Council of Maritime Transport Unions and Association. Could you let us into why you did that? Because what you cited was a breach in the MOU. So what areas of the MOU were you particular about, and were there any attempts to resolve and ensure that everybody complied, and it didn't happen?
Well, I think the Maritime Workers Union of Nigeria of today is a union of reckoning, that everybody know what we can do, they know what we cannot do. Yeah, that's what we call marriage of convenience between husband and wife. And there's what we call marriage of inconvenience, when the husband cannot take care of his marriage, or the woman cannot take care of his marriage. So we believe in give and take. The MOU, yes, I can tell you, Maritime Workers Union of Nigeria, we are the founding father of COMTUA. Not only Maritime Workers Union of Nigeria, we have NATO, we have RITIA, we have National Union of Road Transport Workers Union of Nigeria. We equally have some associations, but we found out that some of them are associations. They are equally employers, and there's no room I'm going to sit down with employers and having the same collaboration together. We found out that their character, their attitude is different from that of unionism. It's different from the way we see it by way of negotiating with our member, the way we talk to our employer. So we pull out as a result of what is coming in, because there's no need for me sitting down with a marriage where we keep on attacking ourselves, where we keep on fighting ourselves when we don't need that. So, and the organs that, the highest organ of the Maritime Workers of Nigeria, the NEC, took that decision by saying, okay, the union cannot continue with this marriage. Yes, our door is still open. You know, when you fight your wife or your wife fights you, there's room for reconciliations. So we did say we are no longer with them outrightly, but we're saying no. Let us review our marriage and see how we can continue. The industry is very big. It can accommodate millions of people, but the attitude of some of the ESCO in the Compton made us to say, okay, let us just give it a day. But we are not the only one that pull out. You remember NATO too, what happened that they has been very, very close to Maritime Workers Union of Nigeria, equally send their signal out, and some other associations. But we still believe we are partners in progress. So, but I cannot sit down where we'll be antagonizing the stakeholders.
Yeah.
And, you know, before I became president general of this union, or president of this union, you know what we pass through. They will find out whom you are and what do you have. But I cannot sit down where somebody will be attacking each other. So that is why we take that decision that, well, let's call it a day for now and see how we can reveal our marriage of inconvenience.
We really hope that you'd have that sorted out, you know, from both organizations or unions. Well, let's talk about the IOCs and the stevedoring regulation, because this has been a lot of concern. So what's the compliance level? You know, there's the notion that IOCs are not compliant, but we know from you we're going to get the true picture. So what's the picture?
It's unfortunate that the impunity that is going on between some of these multinational companies who have no regard for the rule and the law of this great country. They abuse their privileges given to them by our government. When the Honorable Minister gave an directive, 7 days for compliance, some of them floated that order. They have no regard for him, but we never mind about that. But we fight. This is our country. They cannot try it in other African countries. They can't. Stevedoring is by law, where you need to employ and engage the stevedoring contractor. It's by law, and they refuses. But as I'm talking to you, I cannot give you the accurate people that have complied. But I know some major actors in high OCs. I think I learned majority of them have started complying by sitting down with their the stevedoring contractors and allow the dock workers to come in and work.
But I hope that there are penalties for not adhering to those dictates.
I think we try to use this measure to talk to NIMASA, who happen to be the regulating agent, who take custodian of, who regulate the activities of these stevedoring activities we're talking about. It's the responsibility of NIMASA to weigh in and support their sister company, their sister agency, that is Nigeria Port Authority, so that all of them should be on the same page by way of reading out Riot Act to some of those herring IOCs who feel that they are more than this great country, who feel the law of these countries do not be respected. So I appeal to NIMASA to come up and do something reasonable to make sure that they respect the law.
All right, sir. You would agree that in the maritime industry, we really can't talk about the industry without talking about the ports. And recently, concerns and worries have been over drug peddling in the ports. Is there anything the Maritime Workers Union is doing to address that issue at the moment? Yes,
I think at the union today, we want to use this video to thank the CEO of NDLA, Major General Buba Marwa, that is doing a very wonderful job. He has exposed most of all these cartel and cabal that are into peddling, turning the seaport to dumping grounds for illicit drugs. The Maritime Workers Union of Nigeria have been talking to our members, trying to sensitize with them, orientating them of the involvement of getting themselves involved in drug peddling or somebody using them for their own selfish interest. That anybody caught using the name of Maritime Workers Union of Nigeria is on its own. And not only that, I think what the union is trying to say and we have been doing is any of our members caught with anything that has to do with drugs, I think it's on its own. We dismiss it. Yeah, we also have our hands up and dismiss them. But I must let you know that it's not only our members that are inside the port. Okay. there are some other port users too that the NDLA should focus on their characters. So we have some, not only dock workers, not only shipping, not only MPA. What about those clearing and forwarding agents, the importers that are bringing all those concerning to Nigeria seaport here? So they need to what? Put their searchlight on those people. Going by the other jetties, we have jetties, we have bonded terminals who oversee all those areas. I think both MPA, both Inimaza, both NDLA, they should both be on put their searchlight and look out at all the jetties inside the port or outside the port.
Okay, let's go to calmer waters. We've really been talking about a whole lot, but recently we learned that the Executive Secretary of the Shippers Council visited you. And, well, let me just ask, what was the visit about? Are we seeing synergies? Are we going to be seeing collaboration in certain areas? You know, could you just let us into...
Well, I want to thank you for that beautiful question. I think the years of Shippers Council, the barrister, Honorable Jime has been a wonderful person. I think since inception of Maritime Workers Union of Nigeria, he is the first chief executive of a very responsible agency that come to visit the Maritime Workers Union of Nigeria's headquarters. It shows the level of understanding, the level of humility coming from the angle of the years. So I think the Maritime Workers Union of Nigeria will continue to remember him for even coming to come and see what we are doing here. He came in at the right time when things will have gone upside down between us and APMT. And he was trying to be a middleman between the two union, the union and the APMT. But we see him as a brother, we see him as a friend of the union, and we will continue to synergy with him and partner with him in terms of our struggle, because the union believes in struggle, because he has seek our support in all ramifications, and we are ready to give it to him in any area he needed the support of Maritime Workers Union of Nigeria. So we are together with him, and he's a man of honor, and the Maritime Workers Union of Nigeria will continue to be happy with him and work with him.
Interesting. Going forward, you know, you still have quite a while, you know, to be here, you and your team, and I'm sure there are new areas, you know, you would want to cover. Could you let us into what you'll be doing going forward?
Well, I think before I retire back to my village, I think there are areas I still want to put in place with my executives. I have a wonderful executive working with me, and the issue of having seafarers recreation club for the seafarers and that of the dock workers, having support from the International Transport Workers Federation, that is ITF, the affiliate that we belong to, and they are ready to give us what we call support in giving a very beautiful, very recreation club for all the seafarers and dock workers in Nigeria. So very soon we are going to call our stakeholders for their support. We need their support so that the seafarers in Nigeria will not lag behind. The dock workers too will not lag behind, because anytime you free, there's no job for you, you can be of where you can relax yourself, enjoy yourself, relax, and that is what we're trying to do this time around before our time is up. And we are even having what we call Maritime Workers Union of Nigeria Housing Estate, that anytime from now we're trying to partner with developers, and we're about to sign the MOU with them so that we can have an housing estate for the maritime workers and the union, comprised of all the 4 branches. I think those are the things we are trying to lay down in Okoko. You know, we have a very big plot of land in Okoko, and we're trying to see how we can utilize them and give a very good housing incentive for all our members, so at an affordable rate. So those are the things we're trying to do. So not only that, if you look at the back of our office now, the house there have been pulled down, and we are bringing out another one, building another one for support, through the support of Management of Nigeria Port Authority. We send our greetings to them. We want to thank them for the support we have been enjoying for them. So there are some stakeholders that are very human, that are very supportive. We don't even ask them before they increase the welfare of their workers. But there are some who still believe, if they didn't tell us that they are not making it, because no employers of labor will tell you it's making it in life. They always try to maximize profit at the expense of the poor workers. But the way it is now, I think the union will out for all those employers who have no regard for their employees. The dock workers have paid their dues. The seafarers in this country have equally paid their dues. Imagine the aged seafarers in this country. Up to now, they've not paid their pension. It's unfortunate those people that have contributed immensely to the growth of seafaring in this country were being used and useless and dumped as if they are not Nigeria. So we are on that. I think, do you know, anytime from now, we are going to make noise as they know us, that we don't just make noise anyhow. We go straight to the point. We tell the whole world what is happening, because we believe in dialogue. We believe in engaging our principals in order for us to get our rights and put it on the table. But whoever says no, and that's why you see us that we always apply option B. And you know what option B is all about. Is to dance and let the whole world know that
we
yes,
really hope that
yes,
you're able to
yes.
Find the solution before option B comes.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir. It's a brilliant work you've been doing, and we really wish you the best, you and your team, as you go on. Would be available, to have your issues highlighted anytime you think you would need us to be here.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for your time today.
Thank you for having me.
This is about all we can take today on the Executive Dialogue. You'd agree it's been an enlightening time with the President of Nigeria's Maritime Workers Union. I'm sure you had a lot to learn too. So until we come your way again next time, please stay safe. I remain Ezinne Azuna.